it. Okay, I need like background. You going to bed, Zoe? Love you. That could be good. Maybe I can like. Sure, that could be background noise. I am tapering off of, I guess, not technology. I love technology. I'm a big fan of technology. I'm weaning off of fast form media, and I'm completely smartphone-less now. Got my PCL flip. And I guess I've just been coming up with things to do with my time that aren't doom scrolling on Reels, because it was really bad. The other day I literally just started crying because I was trying to read a book. What the fuck was I reading? I think I was reading... It was one of these books. Hi, my son. Oh, I was trying to read this book because it always makes me feel safe and warm and feel better when I'm not doing too good. But I just couldn't get through the first 2 pages, and I just wept because I was like, there's like, my brain is so used to like constant frequent stimulation and like, you know, I'm too close to the camera. Constant stimulation and dopamine. You know, I love my gabber. Like, that's so fucking stupid. Ignore me. I like fast music. But I didn't used to love fast music, and I didn't used to love like reels. But you know, I just sat there and I cried because it was like, I used to love books. I used to read all the time. And then I like face a little flush, and I'm like dealing with all these like emotions and heartbreak, and like I like drive myself to Verizon and I walk in and I'm like, I need a flip phone. And the guy, he's like just shocked. He just seemed, first of all, he was he just seemed super condescending almost. He was like, well, you're an independent woman. Don't you want? And I was like, I want a flip phone, like, and you know, I kept like, he just seemed really shocked by that, and it was really hard to get a flip phone, which I mean, I guess like the way that capitalism has set up us is that we cannot function without having everything completely accessible in our little computer in our pocket. And I'm learning that it's really hard when you can't check or transfer money from your bank account on your phone, or have Venmo completely accessible, or Google Maps. Like, holy shit. Granted, I like am enjoying the challenge because I'm allowing myself to think and use my brain and like face challenges. Ebony says that I'm gonna get wrinkles in my brain again, which I'm really stoked about because I don't want a smooth brain. And I went camping with someone like a month ago, and you know, we were setting up the tent. They were telling me that, like, you know, when they were a scout, that tents were harder to build, and we as a society have moved into like things being completely like touch of your finger accessible, and it's distressing because like we're rapidly moving towards like being stupid, being dumb. AI makes me sad, but that's something I'll get into later, and it just getting worse every day, and I absolutely cannot stand the fact that like we are all just dumb as rocks. Like, we consume like if not porn, then porn-esque media constantly. Just like, we are so, anyway, I'm super getting sidetracked. I get my fucking flip phone, I come home, and I like wipe my tears, and I take the, like the Disney, like the padded VHS boxes, and I like pull out Tarzan. I make a sacrifice, thank you Tarzan. I put Tarzan on our shelf in the living room because we have so many fucking VHSs. I have a good portion in here, but out there it's ridiculous. We get like, Goodwill has like a, what is it, like 5 for $1. So we just go in there, we like fucking haul, and like we're running out of room and we need a bigger shelf. Not less VHSs, a bigger shelf. Anyway, I take the Tarzan box and I get my iPhone, I put it in there, and I fucking duct tape that shit shut. I don't even think about it. I walk up to Zoe and I'm like, Zoe, do me the honors. Don't let me ever find this. I'm still paying for the line because, you know, I'm not silly. There may be a time and I'm still gonna like pay for the line, but you know, Zoe's like, you got it, baby. I haven't seen it since, and just been doing a lot of thinking. I don't know, this year has been a lot of peace, a lot of breath, and a lot of, like, I guess the word is tangible. Like, I feel tangible again, and I think taking a second to breathe and to exist in my room and in the living room, and I feel like my life is slow. Like, I have this little domestic life and it's kind of fun. Granted, like I have lots of things in my life that I do, but like I feel myself settling in, and I don't have expectations for what I need to become, and no one around me has any expectations of what they want me to become, but I'm becoming. Like, I feel myself like deepening into Alice, and it's really cool. But what was I gonna say? I've just been like, I guess the time that I've been spending by myself throughout the year, like, I've been single for months and months and months now, like, was it July? Months and months and months and months and months, and I love it. 2025 has been my single year, and I feeling like I am independent again. I feel like I'm myself, like, maybe like for the first time ever, like, you know, in my adulthood, like I feel completely conscious in my decisions and my morals and the person that I am, and I feel confident telling people no. Like, we were out in the front, and I think I was cutting Eb's hair, and there was a man who was like talking to us over the fence, and like everyone in the yard was like, oh haha, oh haha. I remember I looked at him and I was like, hey, like, can you give us some space? And he was like, what? And I was like, we're doing something, like, can you leave? He was like, oh, I'm sorry. He walks off, and I feel like I've been doing a lot of that this year, and I don't feel guilty doing it either. Like, I have boundaries as a person, but I don't ever find myself crossing other people's boundaries. And the people in my life are like amazing at like communication, and just, I guess what all of this to say, I've been surrounding myself with people that are very present and very in tune with how they feel, and very in tune with like not being on their phone. I do more music and art than I have in a very long time, and I went to camp with a bunch of my coworkers back like a month ago, and we went into the woods, and I didn't have my phone, there was no service, and I was like dealing with like very heavy emotions, and I was sitting in the hammock and my eyes were closed, and one of my coworkers was reading a book on the bench, and I remember like 30 minutes had passed. I like had this like revelation. I like sit up in the hammock, I turn to her, and I'm like, why the fuck don't people do this more often? She was like, what are you talking about? And I was like, think, like just, I'm in a hammock. I just been staring at the sky for like half an hour. And we went on this whole conversation, but I was essentially saying like people are so afraid to be alone with themselves, and constantly need like whether that be through like romance or friendship or I don't know, just any chemicals that are being released in your brain. But I forgot how much I love just thinking. I love to think, and I want to be better at thinking. I've been really into philosophy recently. You can kind of see like that orange one right there. I'll get into that later. I have so much to talk about. I realized that I love to yap. I love talking. And then I came back and I was on my phone again. I was like, I was texting. I was just sick of it. It sucked. Because I kept finding myself just like spending 4 hours like in my bed on my phone when like I was just on a raft doing mushrooms on a fucking like whitewater raft. I'm like rafting, and I'm on so many drugs, and like I'm with all the people that I love, and I don't know, I don't know. And then I went to OCF recently, and I had the option, like there were places where I could use my phone, but I was like, I'm gonna be camping here for like 4 days, so like I put my phone in airplane mode, I took a bus, and I just was out there by myself, working for somebody that I had never met before, and camping with somebody who was never in their tent, and just wandered around in the daytime, worked for a couple hours, and then came across people like throughout the night, and just like I wasn't worried about like what message I was gonna get. I was like, oh, like what the fuck, I haven't seen you in months, we're gonna hang out for like 3 or 4 hours, let's, I don't know, dance. And I would just dance, and it was just such a tender, intimate, granted like hippies doing drugs in the woods, cult-esque, but I don't know, I was in this there's this room, bathhouse, and the walls are made of wood, and there are, oh baby, there are showers along the sides of the walls, and there are little campfires, but like, yeah, like little fires for people to like dry off, and there's sauna rooms, and there's a stage, and I go in for the first time, and like everybody's naked, and I'm like so nervous. I'm like, oh my god, like people are gonna like look at me weird. And I was in there by myself. I just, you know, I took off my clothes, and I realized that like no one was looking, so I don't know, it was very intimate, and we have such a connotation around like nudity and bodies, and there are always going to be people who see you in like the way that porn like views anybody, like anybody, but I don't know, I get so sad thinking about how media and the internet have stripped away intimacy and like connection and existence to this, like even metaphorically into sex, like just this but I went into one of the sauna rooms, and there were like, it was dark, and I walked in alone, and there's like this pathway that leads into like an octagon shaped room. And I'm standing in the entrance, and you know, everyone sees me, but they're not looking. And they're singing. They're like, it wasn't hymns per se, but it was definitely, it felt religious. It felt, everyone was harmonizing, and it was low humming, and it was quiet. And I like sit down on the side, and I sing along with everyone, and I look up, and there's like stained glass, and it was really beautiful. I just remember sitting there thinking about how moments like these are just trickling away. And I was talking to another coworker, and she was telling me that like there were people who came for fair, like came to visit her, to go to fair with her, and the little boy that had like come with them, he like came in with his iPad and like was watching like, you know, all this like high stimulation like videos, and he was like 4 or 5, and they went to fair and there was no internet, so he didn't watch anything. He looked sad the whole time and quiet and uninterested, and then they got back to service and he was back to on his iPad, and like his mom just let him, and it just makes me so sad that, I don't know, I've just been like obsessed with like how we are just dull. We're just dull and sad, and we're constantly expecting so much from the people around. Hi, beautiful boy. Hi, pretty boy. You can see my son. I'm just talking. I don't know. I think it's fun to talk. Stretch. I say a lot. I realize that I say a lot. I've also been trying to learn how to sit in silence, because that's really cool too. I don't have to fill in the space. Like, this is going, I'm putting on YouTube, sure, but like, no one's gonna watch it. If they watch it, they'll private it or something, but I think this is mostly for me as a pastime. I've always thought about like making one of those like, not analytical videos, I forgot the word for it, just one of those deep dive videos. Hey, baby. Oh, and then I got back, and I've just been thinking more and more about the beauty in the mundane and the quiet and the it goes back to breath. I breathe all the time. Stop biting me. Ew. And also just accepting when things aren't happy and upbeat all the time. Like, like I was so upset last night, and like I drank a little bit, and I like sat on the roof, and I put like I think it was Way's blood. I think, excuse me, I put Way's blood in my Walkman. I have 2. One of them takes cassettes, and I fucking I like tried to catch it because like fell, like the actual like Walkman off the roof, and it just like fell on the bottom, and I was like so upset about that. But it was like fine. I don't know. I went to bed and I woke up the next morning, and I mean I still got this bad boy. This would be a really good hold on. Sorry, I had a little thumbnail idea. But just like spending an hour just not, I don't have any expectations for myself. Like I just exist, and I think, and I learn, and I breathe. I keep saying breath. I'm going in circles now. I need to change the topic soon. And it's nice. Nothing else to say about that. Zoe has this like bowl of things to do when we don't want to doom scroll. It's like paint your nails, or I don't know, clean your room. and that's really fun. And we've also been going through like newspaper clippings and finding coupons, and I feel really excited to grow old. I've always wanted to grow old, but I think I'd be really good at growing old. Okay, that's, I guess, the first topic. What was that, 20 minutes of me rambling about how much I hate social media? Okay, I can show you things that I have. Let's see. I'm gonna do a little haul. I think that's good for now. Okay, things that I like. Things that I have in my possession right now. My dad bought me this. This is my first cassette. I got this a couple months ago. I would pop it in, but oh, and I could actually show this off. My fucking cheap cassette player. You can see the scratches on it because it fell off the roof. This is useless now. This is useless, so I can't actually listen to this. I'm really bummed about it, but that's okay. And I have my Marty Robbins because I love. They've had a cowboy recently, cowboy country. Like, ugh. I wish I was a cowboy. I cried over Brokeback Mountain. I've been like absolutely crushed by Brokeback Mountain. Themistocles is gonna want to get out in a second. He's staring at the door. Out. Good boy. And I got my Ways Blood. I have a lot of books I've been reading. Yes, I've been reading. Can you believe it? This one's sweet. This is a good memory. And I'm gonna hold on to this book forever. I'm gonna cry if I think about it too hard, but it's my philosophy book. Trying to learn. John Green is really good for learning the basics of philosophy. I've been thinking about actually going back to school. Not like to get a degree, but maybe take a class, because I realize I do love learning. I just don't like the expectation of graduating. Like, I don't care about it. It doesn't matter to me. But like, I like to learn, and without having any like anybody telling me what I do and don't have to do. Like, I'm gonna take a full philosophy class. I just finished this yesterday. I grew up loving Charles Bukowski. I used to read him in high school a lot, and he has some beautiful works. I actually took a couple pictures on my flip phone, which I will share with the audience, and I will read some of them. But I didn't process that he's a fucking pedophile. It really sucks. I mean, like, granted, no one thinks he's a good person, but he has some like I used to like off to 4-year-olds on bicycles. He like wrote, there's multiple poems about him going by schools, which is like which is really upsetting, because it really made it hard to enjoy the last portion of it once I had that realization. There's Chairman Mao on a bong. I don't know if you can that was something I took today. Oh, also, before I get into Charles Bukowski, I was at the library, and there was this book, and the description is like crazy. I'm gonna read it. At age 13, Telma is famous as the world's youngest breast cancer survivor until threatened with obscurity by her 4-year-old who just undergone a mastectomy. Rihanna believes that auditioning for pregnant teenage porn will help further her dream of befriending Kanye West. ... Jackie, a photographer, once celebrated for arty nudes of her young daughter, in working at Sears Family Portrait Boutique, and Oscar-winning Michael Douglas searches for meaning while his wife Catherine Guest stars on Glee. Lots of thoughts about that one. Should I don't want to share. I don't feel like it. Yeah, Charles just has really wonderful poetry. These are two of my favorites by him. And if you have the ability to love, love yourself first, but always be aware of the possibility of total defeat, whether the reason for that defeat seems right or wrong. An early taste of death is not necessarily a bad thing. I've been like gutted over that, just very, I don't know, developing these insurmountable feelings of love for somebody that, you know, you realize is just at a different point in time than you, or not necessarily that, just like different lives, and just going separate ways and choosing yourself. Like I've always lived by that, but I think this was the first time that I actually successfully like pursued it, where it was like, yes, but also sorry. Love yourself first. I love it. It's good shit. Second one, I don't want to share that one. That one's also for me. I also, wonderful memory. This one, The Beats. Been reading The Beats recently. I also have Kerouac somewhere. I have this one, which was his one of his books. The Soft Machine came out in like the 60s, I think. I don't know, I was talking to my grandma about it. 1962. 1961, I believe. That's when it was first. Yes. Burroughs. Been also reading Kerouac. I'm halfway through this one, but this is not the one I wanted to read. The Beats. Want to learn about them a little more. They've been on the brain. God, I'm like surrounded by books. I guess he's not my manager. The owner of the store gave me this, and it's just like, have you seen anything like that? That's so pretty. There's a butterfly one that I could probably find and read. Oh my god, it's just like just so unorthodox and hard to read, and just like gorgeous. If I could find the butterfly one, I'd be very happy. Dear universe, dear my sweet lord, give me the butterfly. I could also talk about religion a little bit. I've also been very fascinated with like Catholicism, and like, oh, I could talk about that. I'll talk about that momentarily. I guess I could talk about what I'm looking. I've been really fascinated with like, initially I would say God, and I used to ask people back in like January or something, what God meant to them, and you know, I'd normally get the response like, what the fuck are you talking about, like I don't believe in God. And then I kind of tweaked my answer to where I started asking people like what their faith was, and I think over the past couple months I've narrowed down like my question. I literally just asked like, what is faith to you, which leads to the most profound answers, I think. People have beautiful brains and beautiful things that drive them in life and motivate them to be alive, and I think I was searching for that this year, like what it means to be alive. And I think last week I felt God, but not God, not like God, but like God. And I kind of want to chase that a little bit. I can't find it. It doesn't matter. But I don't know. I was reading the Bible. Can you believe it? I was reading the Bible, and I'm not a big fan of the Old Testament. I haven't made it to the New Testament, but God is such a douchebag. Like the whole thing where I was at the Tower of Babel, where he was like, wow, how beautiful that they all speak the same language. Let's fuck that shit up. Let's fuck that shit up. Let's fuck that shit up. And then he's like, pow, 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 pow. You guys all speak a different language. God, I wish I could share this one. I'm like looking. Oh, the butterfly. I found it. I guess I'll read it like a teacher. The butterfly. I am without form, without limit, beyond space, beyond time. I am in everything. Everything is me. I am the bliss of the universe. Everything am I. There's more, I hope. And look. Uh-oh. This is awkward. Guys, this is not what I thought it was. There's this whole thing about a cocoon. And essentially, I'll just talk about it. It was essentially saying that, like, I also wrote this. Sorry, I'm so distracted by everything. I took my tea straight today. I wrote that. I don't remember. This was supposed to be a poem for someone, but I don't remember who that someone was. No, I remember who it was about. I don't want to talk about that one. Also for me. It was essentially saying that we exist as, I think it was like caterpillars, and we do not know what life is like as a butterfly, and we can't sit here and like try to navigate what it means to be a butterfly. We just become a butterfly and we are something else. And it kind of reminds me of the whole fucking, I don't remember the name, I've read a lot of stuff about philosophy, and I'm getting lost in my own train of thought. The ship that comes in, and it was, does it count as the same ship? I'm bad at talking. Oh my god, I gotta do this more often. I don't know how to fucking, I'm so stream of consciousness. Okay, I'm just vomiting out of my mouth. This is, I went to a bookstore with a girl, and I bought this because I liked it. And I bought another one who I gave to someone that I reconnected with a couple months ago. I think they deserved it more than me. It seemed right to give it to them. It's also just like a, this is like a waving my white flag. But I kept this one because there's a really beautiful woman in here that I may or may not have ripped out and hung on the wall in the living room, because that seems like something that I would do as well. I've been loving to hang things. Oh, I like her. Her features are really pretty. There's like, I don't know, she has this like arched nose that I think is really beautiful, and she's very strong. I don't know. I like this. I've never read this, actually. My ex-best friend from like years ago, she like swore by it. She was like, it's like a book of all ages. I've always wanted to read it, but I haven't sat down to like read it. And when I sit down, I want to do it in one read, because I feel like I want something lighthearted right now. And then fuck whoever gave this to me, actually, piece of shit. But this is really cool. I'm very fond of it. It is Sounds of the West, Part 1. Techno, drum and bass, and dub out west. It is a, when I was watching it, it's just like a bunch of British people, and they're navigating like what each of these genres are and like how they impact like the culture. It's really cool. My collections are getting kind of ridiculous. I need to stop collecting. Also, I'm tired. I just had a long day. I just got back from like 15 hours of working, 15 plus. I don't even know how long I was working. And then I go and have it was like a seafood boil with a bunch of people at their apartment, and we ate crawdads and oysters and sausage. We finished with homemade pie and coconut ice cream, and I drank a shit ton of wine. It was so good, and I'm so full and tired, and I've been having Jeff Buckley's Lover You Should Have Come Over like on repeat nonstop in my head, and it's kind of driving me fucking crazy, but like this is besides the point. I also forgot to share this, also haven't read it, but I think the cover is just like gorgeous. I think it looks like pencil, like they just cut it out. And Nikki let me borrow this, and it also reminds me of this animation that Nikki showed me on YouTube that I'm really fond of. I love those two, Nikki and Kayla. they're like my glowing light in the darkness when it comes to love. And I think living with them at the beginning of this year, end of last year, however long that was just like this like epiphany of what it meant to be in love. I was raised with very unstable, unrespected, like lack of understanding, like chaotic, tumultuous love, and I think it's all I've ever known. Just the clinging and the destruction, and moving in with them was just like, it was sweet. And they were just spectacular, and they're still spectacular. They're getting married soon. I get to go to their wedding at the end of this year, and it makes me really happy because like throughout all of my endeavors in 2025, like my standards are higher. I don't settle anymore. I don't settle for disrespect. I respect myself completely, and no one gets to tell me who I am or how I feel or what I think. Like, I know how I fucking think. I've known how I fucking think. And I have had for so long this like idea of love that was portrayed in the media. It all circles back to the fucking media. Of just like the one and this person that you make work with no matter what. You always make it happen. You find a way, and you like, I don't know, we have these ideas of what we want in a person. Like, I don't know, like I made out with a fucking cougar in an audience, and not an audience, but like a crowd of people, and that was like on my bucket list of like, oh my god, that would be like so romantic. Not necessarily in the audience, but just in a general sense, like, you know, make out with the cougar. Like, we have these ideas of what we want in romance or sex, and then you get it and you realize that she uses too much tongue. But I don't know, I've had these expectations of what I want in love, but there's something really beautiful about just letting it happen organically and letting it fall away organically, and it makes the love richer. And I've been really enjoying that recently, and how at the end of the day, I got me, I have Alice, and every person that I've interacted with, that, you know, I found beauty in them. I think that they have all been wonderful. I don't want it right now. And right for always, I choose me. And I don't know, the exterior validation that we seek, we don't need it anymore. We don't need it as a people. I'm so tired. I really gotta go to bed. I've been talking for like 40 minutes. I don't know. I don't have to post on social media. I can take a hiatus from my job. I can learn a skill that I've always wanted to learn. I learned pole dancing this year. I'm good at it. I'm really good at pole dancing. I've gotten strong. I've gotten really strong. Like, but I think things will fall into place when they're ready. And in the meantime, I am really enjoying existing in my beautiful house and learning every day about how my brain works, and being alone with myself and being quiet. Here, I guess let's turn off the ambient noise. Being quiet and being happy and being sad. I enjoy being sad. I don't have a timer for when I need to stop being sad. I feel it, and then don't anymore. And then I get happy. I don't get too happy. I don't allow myself to get too happy. I don't go crazy about that shit, but I do love to giggle. I can't shut the fuck up. And I love to laugh, and sometimes I don't make any sense to anybody else, but that's okay because I think it makes sense to me, and that counts for something. And I'm getting really pretentious and poetic right now because I'm introspective, and I'm feeling, I feel love. I feel like I'm full of love. I feel like I'm in love. I feel like I'm brokenhearted, and God damn it. I don't think I have anything else to talk about. I should go to bed. I work tomorrow. Bye.